Big horse yawn.
Live.
Yay! We're live.
We're live. Hello, hello.
Hello, everybody from Wamsutter, Wyoming. Very exciting
Out there in
place.
the middle of snow country.
Snowmageddon out here.
Snow country. I think I'm trying to decide if I got enough light here. Yeah, I think it's okay. I always have to look at a different thing to see how much light we have because it always looks really dark on my screen. So that's
Yeah.
good.
So who's all here?
Well, in the chat we've got Miss Michelle Crochets and Canvas. How are you today? I said Canvas. Kansas. We got a few people watching, but nobody else commenting. And as always, it always takes a couple minutes for people to get through all of the ads.
Right.
We understand that. So
boring.
There's everybody. Miss
Yay!
Patty's here. Hey,
Yay!
Patty. Doris
Patty.
is here.
Hi, Doris.
Hi, Doris. Pamela from Green Stick. I cannot
Green
talk to you
Stick
guys.
Cottage.
That's the one. That is the one. Green Stick Cottage. Oh, Debbie. Oh, I'm not going to be able to say your name, Debbie. Flaw, F-L-A-U-G-H. Is that one of your friends? Flaw?
I think she's one of our viewers.
All right. From Swayze, Indiana. Miss Debbie, do you got a bunch of snow too? Who's got a bunch of snow? We got about 3 inches this morning. I know Miss Dana is in the middle of a snowstorm. She's got as many feet as I have inches of snow.
Well, I have clear blue skies and dry pavement right now, but there's nothing but snow for hundreds of miles everywhere I look. Yeah. It was Snowmageddon here last week.
Yeah. Because you were shut down yesterday, weren't you? The days meld together, but was it yesterday?
No, not yesterday. I was shut down like Wednesday, I think. Yeah, in Lake Havasu, Arizona.
Right.
And then I drove Friday to New Mexico. I drove Saturday to Denver. And today's Sunday. Yeah. Yep, that's how that works.
That's correct.
I have been blessed with blue skies and dry pavement.
Nice.
Except for one little area back there on Elk Mountain that was a nasty mess. And there was a truck over on the eastbound side that had somehow got caught in that snowdrift as they were going down the road, and they flipped completely around facing the other direction. I've seen some craziness out here today.
Yeah, that is not good. Oh, good, Debbie. I'm glad. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yay.
We're always happy. Sometimes, and the reason I said that, Debbie, is oftentimes we'll get people pop in here that Miss Dana has known all along that are new to me. And so usually if I see a name that I haven't seen before, I assume that's the case. And good morning, Crocheting Dog Mom. Good morning, Michelle. I guess it's not morning, is it? It's afternoon.
It's afternoon. It's 4:00 here.
Yeah, I am a little off my game today. So,
well, you've had a rough week.
I'm going to ask for forgiveness in advance if I muck things up a little bit. And for those of you that are new, please know that this isn't the normal me. I'm usually a little more on the ball and a little more fun to hang around with. But
she's had a very sad week.
It's been a bad week at our house. But I'm so happy to be here with you guys today. Spending time with you guys makes everything better, always and forever.
We're going to tell you guys what we've been learning.
What have we been learning? So, this
you go first.
Thank you. This is the welcome to the Dana and Robbin Go to School. It's not a podcast. Is this a podcast? I don't actually know what a podcast is. I guess a podcast is only listening, and you guys get to watch.
It's a YouTube live. is what it is. Yeah. I don't know what else it is, but
I don't know. So what we do is every week, each of us are taking a different class with Miss Salina Baca of the American Crochet Association. And there is a link down below in the description box, but apparently there's a problem with the link because, as we all know, Robbin is technology challenged severely. And apparently,
well, I think your internet is kind of weak anyway. They're in your spot. It seems like
right.
You have a lot of trouble there.
I was told that the link, which I thought was a link to the association, apparently that goes to my channel, and I don't know why. So I have to go back in and research and figure out what I've done wrong.
She'll get it figured out.
She'll get it figured out. It often takes a couple of tries, but I will get it figured out. So the American Crochet Association is run by Salina Baca. Salina is an author, a book writer, a crocheter extraordinaire, and a very good teacher of crochet. And she has it. Do you have a feel for how many different classes she offers on her site, Dana?
I do. And okay, I'm just going to try to rattle a few off my head. First of all, the learning path that I'm going through is for members. And each module, like the first module was the yarn mastery. Well, now I'm in the swatch part of it. And then there's like 10 or 12 more modules in the learning path that I still have to go through. And some of those have like 10 or 15 classes in them.
Yeah.
So that's huge. Just the learning path all by itself for members is huge. And then there's, how to crochet, the one that you're,
the beginners, one.
The beginning one.
How to crochet.
There's the skill building workshop that,
yes.
That we're giving away today. That's the one we're giving away today.
We are giving away. Miss Salina gifted us a set of those skill builder workshops to give away in these lives. So each week for the next several weeks, we get to give one of these away.
Yeah. So that is a huge value. And if you are in love with crochet and you're, willing to take a few minutes, even just once a week like we do, to take advantage of this workshop, then stick around for that. There's also how to teach crochet. Mm-hmm. There's pattern writing. There's crochet as a business. Now, these are not the actual names. This is just coming out of the top of my head. Those are the things that I can think of. On top of that, there are like pattern challenges within the membership, and that's something I'm going to talk about today.
And I also know in the how to teach, she's got a full lesson and she's got a mini lesson. So her stuff is very well done. It's very thoughtfully laid out. It is created in such a way that wherever you are in your crochet journey, you're going to get something out of it. And I'm going to say this again. I say this every week ad nauseum. I know you guys get sick of hearing it, but she gifted this course to me during our live. And if you guys want to watch, go back a few weeks and you can watch our live. It was really good. She allowed me to interview her on my show, and it was a very, very good interview. And during that, she gifted me, I know your son is terrible.
No. I just wanted to say there's a herd of elk right there. Oh. I love Wyoming.
Nice.
Go ahead.
During that live, she gifted me this beginning crochet class. The reason and I've been crocheting for these 50 years. And the reason being, we discussed that no matter where you are in your journey, oftentimes you skipped over something, or maybe you learned something that wasn't all the way correct, or maybe like in both of those things for me, but also in my case, I'm now having grands asking me to teach them, and I want to teach them correctly so they don't have to spend years trying to undo bad habits. And this
Right.
has been it's been a really good learning experience for me. And I have learned something on every single lesson, even though, and I'm talking very, very beginning, how to make a knot, very beginning. But I have learned something every single week. And one of my goals this year was to learn how to read charts. What is it? I always say it wrong.
Charts.
Chart. Learn how to the symbols. Learn how to use this, read the symbols and read a chart. I can read a pattern, no problem, usually, depending on how it's written, but I never could read a chart, and I was very intimidated by them. And she rolls that into these lessons, and the step by step is as easy as the rest of the stuff she's got. So I'm super excited to be learning that skill, something that I've wanted to do for many, many years. And so that's been really cool for me. So,
sorry, I'm geeking out over hundreds of elk. They're all down out of the mountains. I'm sorry. I'm geeking out on it.
You've got one of the joys of being a truck driver. That's right. I just realized that my sample is across the room, so I got to pop over and grab it.
Go get it. I am literally geeking out, you guys. They are down out of the mountains because of the big storm that they just had.
Oh.
So did you find it?
Yeah, I got it. It was just, I had set it over there. Yeah, Debbie, okay. I find charts to be overwhelmingly confusing. But once she broke it down to, literally we started with the symbol for the chain and then explained, because I never understood how to read it. Even if I could figure out the symbols, which, there's things all over the place that tell you this symbol means this and this symbol means that. But it was, okay, well, now what do I do with that knowledge? But she explained it so easily. Oh, wow, the birds are outside my window fighting. They are literally fighting. I can see feathers flying out there. Wow.
Hey, I thought those kind of fights were illegal.
I guess so.
What happens at Fight Club stays in Fight Club. Yeah.
So
nobody talks about Fight Club.
Good Lord. So, yeah, it was really nice the way, that's a big bird. Did he just carry off that little bird? I think he did. Do birds pick on little birds?
Yeah.
He did. He just beat up that little bird and carried him off. I mean, it wasn't a huge bird, but it was a big bird. Good Lord. I didn't know we had Call of the Wild going on outside here.
Nature at its ugliest going on right there.
So, but yeah, so it's been extremely helpful. And it just broke it down so easily and with such little bite-sized pieces to be able to understand it. And once she explained it, it made perfect sense. And that was a problem. I never had anybody explain how to start and how to actually read these things. So I'm super excited about that. So no matter, even if I understand the stitch that we're learning that week, I'm learning the chart stuff. So that's super exciting to me. So last week we did the half double crochet. That was our first stitch that we learned. And I was so excited to find out I have been doing it correctly all along because I was questioning myself. So this week we did the double crochet. And if you might recall, last week I had the stitch markers at the end of every row. I did not do this time. I find with double crochets, I have no problem seeing my stitches. And so I just wanted to get through it this week. But I did want to show you guys something because this is one of those things that I think about. This is how my little brain works. So here's my double crochets. And, the one thing she did do was she broke down all the aspects of the stitch. So that was cool. And we did 10 across and 10 rows. So there's my 10 rows. But one of the things, what I did do for no reason, just for my own little brain, I had pulled out the half double crochets that we did last week, reuse the yarn. But I marked, this was the end of the yarn that I used for the half double crochets. So for the half double crochets, I used this much yarn. And for the double crochets, I used this much more yarn for a double crochet than a half double crochet in the same size swatch, 10 rows by 10 rows. And I found that to be really, really interesting. Almost the entire last 3 rows was extra yarn. It's just one of those things you always wonder how much more yarn one stitch is going to use than another stitch. And if any of you have ever played Yarn Chicken, which I think most of us have, that's a clue maybe. You get down to the last row and you're not going to make it. Finish it with a half double crochet instead of a double crochet. That might save you a yard or 2 of yarn. And maybe that allows you to finish something and it just looks like a different edging, and I'm just talking out loud here. It's just,
and I think there are a lot of situations where that would actually work.
Just a ton of situations where that would work. But I was just curious. I thought, I'm taking this apart. I just wonder how much more yarn the doubles are going to use than the half doubles. And it would, it's significant. It's almost a third more. It was 1, 2, 3 stitches shy of a third more yarn with the double.
And all it is one extra pull through.
One extra pull through.
That's all it is.
100 times.
Yeah.
So that was really kind of interesting to me. And it had nothing to do with the lesson. It was just something my little brain wondered as I started to take that apart. I know there have been times where that's how you can kind of tell how much yarn you need to get through a section. Is you measure how much your double crochet takes or whatever. So it was
you measure the amount of yarn you used in your swatch, and with the right kind of math, you can figure out how much you need for the project, how many yards.
Yep.
Pretty awesome.
Oh, they want to see the elk.
Yeah, I want to show you guys the elk. I wish I could have. And then horses, wild horses.
Oh, wow.
So now nothing. I saw some antelope, but this place is lousy with antelope. They're like flies out here. But yeah, the elk and the horses. I was hoping to see a moose, but no luck so far.
Cheryl, that's interesting. Cheryl says she doesn't really enjoy the charts. And when she comes across the pattern that is chart only, she will convert it to a written pattern. Now, I think
that's an excellent skill to have.
That's an excellent skill. And I don't know about you, but I have run into so many patterns lately. We're not naming any names, Mystery Crochet Along.
Yeah.
Where I have struggled with the written pattern. And if I'd had a chart where I could see what I was supposed to be doing, it would have made my life a million times easier.
Absolutely.
I'm now officially 2 weeks behind on that. So it's not going to get finished in the appropriate time frame. I will finish it because, I'm halfway through it. And so I will finish it, but I'm putting other things with a more with an actual deadline ahead of it. So and I know several people that follow us were having the exact same problem with that particular pattern. So it ain't just me.
Yeah.
Hey, Miss Morgan. Hi.
Hi, Miss Morgan.
So this week, that's what we learned. Half double crochet. And we learned the symbol and the chart for the half double crochet. And we did she asks us to
double crochet. You did double crochet this week.
I said half double both times, didn't I?
Yeah, that's okay.
She asked us to do this 5 times. I am confident enough in my double crochet skills to only do it once. If I were a true beginner, I would have done the 5 times. So,
Yes.
and next
Yes.
week, I did look. Next week, we are doing the single crochet. And I know that sounds funny, but her theory, and I've heard this from other teachers as well, the single crochet is harder to learn for a newbie than a half double and a double. So by the time we get to that 3rd week and we're crocheting, you've got a good feel for holding the yarn, holding your hook, making your loops, like that. So
I would think if you've got the practice time in on chains, half doubles, and doubles, by the time you got to the single, you're going to nail it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at in the process. How about you, Miss Dana?
Okay, so I got 2 things I want to talk about. The first one is my classes, actually. And I finally kind of took a zoomed out look at what the learning path is. So, like, I had classes in the first module that was the yarn mastery, and now I'm in the next module that is about swatches. And the classes in that, the first one was about gauge, the next one was about like the function, like and it went all into how, the swatch will help you determine if your yarn is going to perform the function you want it to for that particular project. Because is it soft and squishy like for a sweater? Is it stiff and scratchy like for a dishcloth? And then the third one, class was about practicing like different pattern repeats for the project you're about to go into, to get yourself into what I call the cadence or the rhythm of the pattern. And I did that a lot back in, I want to say 15, 16, maybe, 15 and 16, I think, when I was really starting to learn new things. I did a lot of swatches for that reason alone. There's a pattern repeat, and I want to check it out. I want to, before I dive into this project that I'm going to invest myself into, I wanted to practice how that pattern worked. And so I would do swatches for that. And this last one was about color. Oh my goodness. Color. Of course, I'm in love with color.
I was going to say, color is your thing.
I love color. And this was about swatching for color. So let's say you have a certain design in your pattern, maybe particular fans or something, where the texture is really, that is a part of the value of that particular project, is that texture. So if you're using variegated, short color changes, you're going to lose that.
Yeah, you're not going to see it at all.
You're not going to see it. But, we were looking at, just one color, like you did the whole thing in a white, classy, very classy. But again, it depends on the particular texture of, the project you're working on, whether or not one solid color, would you still lose the pattern, or would that really put it on a grand scale? Or what, long color changes like the striping and the ombres, how does this texture and these pattern repeats, these stitches show up as far as texture goes, using long repeats? Or you could do like 2 different colors in the same family, like a royal blue and a navy blue, royal blue, navy blue, and how that, I never thought of doing that. And let's just say it's rows of fans, fans of double crochet, and how the fans will kind of embed itself in between the fans from the previous row, and you do a navy blue one way and a royal blue the other, and keep alternating every row. It was gorgeous. And you can pick up, how that pattern is going to present itself using different kinds of colors by swatching. So I have really, I mean, for, two of the four reasons really given for swatching, I have done. That's
Mm-hmm.
I've been there, done that. But the other two, the function, of the yarn, how the kind of fabric that it creates, is that what I want for this pattern? And that the way the colors, work with each other in the project. I love this particular module, which I'm completely through now. Next, I'm going into patterns. For next week, I start the module about patterns.
Oh,
I'm gonna love that. But something I wanted to share with you guys. This is kind of a members only thing. Like, it is the January, February, like, membership only kind of pattern workshop, pattern challenge. And there were like 10 different, were there 10 weeks? I want to say 6 or 8 weeks in a row where, first there was like, I don't know, getting prepared. And then the next week with the video and the handouts and all the information on doing your gauge and all the different reasons to do your swatch.
Mm-hmm.
Test out. And it was done with that Scarfy yarn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's doing a lot of work with Scarfy yarn right now.
Yeah, and so it's a Scarfy cardigan is what it is, and it is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't joined along, but I have followed along, and I'm able to do that as a member. And the last part of it, I mean, she went all through each part of it, the front, the back, the sleeves, all in different weeks, and all the added valuable information that came along with each week was just over the top. It was so amazing, and I feel like I am so smart to become a member, because I am privy to all of this stuff that she gives us. And then finally, it ended up with a live finishing party, mm-hmm. which kind of had to be switched up a little bit because she's got a little laryngitis. But so she kind of had to switch it up a little bit. But the whole thing went for January and February, and people are posting, their progress and their finished projects in the group. And it was, and I got to tell you, that Scarfy cardigan was beautiful and doable. I mean, doable, absolutely doable. And the things I learned just by following along and listening and watching, it was amazing. Totally amazing. So I binge watched that this last week. And those are the kinds of things that she offers to the members.
Yeah. Yeah, she does a crochet along. And I remember she was talking when she was on my show and did that little interview. She was wearing this gorgeous sweater. Mm-hmm. And she was hinting that was going to be the next project on her channel. Well, the project itself is voted on by the members, and that project did not win. The Scarfy sweater won. So she was very surprised. Yes,
the Scarfy cardigan won out of I think it was 4 projects. Yeah, and that Scarfy cardigan with that collar. Oh, it is just gorgeous. And the only other place to get the pattern for that is it is published in one of the books, and that's it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not on Ravelry, I guess.
Because she's got a bunch on Ravelry. Well,
she does.
Wasn't the sweater she was wearing going to be in her new book?
Probably.
That's probably what. Yeah, I'll bet you that's what it was. Because I loved that sweater she was wearing. It was stunning.
She has such a sense of style, and her crochet is modern. And now, as someone who likes, vintage stuff and history and all that kind of stuff, I shy away from modern. But she is mainstream with her designing.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, stuff that the muggles really can ooh and ah over. To me,
Yes.
she is totally promoting our crochet fiber art with her designs.
Mm-hmm.
By just wearing these things in public, she is promoting our art to the, I mean, just to the extreme.
Yeah.
So I just, her designs, they're not always something I would wear, but they're amazing. I mean, I have to appreciate what she does.
Yeah, because they're gorgeous.
They are gorgeous. They're absolutely gorgeous.
I love them. Cheryl was saying, when you're talking about color, she often, and I have done the exact same thing, Cheryl, she'll see a pattern like on Ravelry and she'll go, that is just ugly. And then you'll flip through the ones that everybody have made.
Right.
In different colors. Oh my
Yes.
gosh, it's a complete different sweater or whatever.
It is. And that's why, you know, when I see something, I think, but I will look at, you know, other people's color choices.
Mm-hmm.
And that can easily change my mind.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've done the same thing. I've had patterns pop up on in my email feed, and gosh, there's this one lady, and I cannot think of her name, and all of her stuff is super, super simple. And
Right.
the colors she picks, they're just the most horrific colors. And I always wait and, you know, a couple of months, and then in Ravelry, you'll see the colors that other people have picked. I'm like, okay,
Right.
now I can see it. Because unlike you, I can't see colors in my head. I can't see combinations. I don't know what, so everything I make is brown or gray. And
Right.
so unless you tell me,
it's safe. Those are safe colors.
Unless somebody says, here's go use these colors. I tend to pick the same 3 or 4 things all the time with everything I make. And
right.
So it's very hard for me to mix colors in a pattern, or and I'll see these color block things and I'm just not sure where it'll be. Even this sweatshirt is basically a color block sweatshirt, and I would never in a million years have bought this thing. I came home to Spokane to a snowstorm and I did not have enough warm stuff with me. It was when my mom was sick. And this was on sale in the airport for $5. So I bought it.
Okay. Yeah. Well, let me tell you what else was in that last class from this week on color was a very brief overview on the different ways of using a color wheel. And I am not an expert on using a color wheel, but, you know, as much as I love color, you would think that I would have taken a deep dive into that years ago. I haven't. But the quick overview, I loved. I loved it. So I have a better idea. I mean, I've always had a little bit of a clue because I have checked out a few things on color wheels, but her explanation, you know, between, did you know that shading was taking a color and adding black to it?
Black to it, yes.
I didn't know that.
I only know that because of my artist friend.
Yeah, and then there's one, is it tinting, where you take a color and you add white to it? Or is that the one where you add gray to it? But anyway, all of these things I was just eating up. Like, and, you know, if you take the wheel and you take a color from a third of the wheel, you know, 3 colors evenly spaced apart, you know, that's a thing. And if you take 4 colors on the wheel evenly spaced apart, that's another thing. Or you take a group, like a quarter of them, that's another thing. I was just eating it up. So the knowledge we get from these quick little classes is amazing.
Yeah. My class this week was the longest that we've had so far, and I think the video was 15, 17 minutes, something like that. So all told, because there was 2 videos, but all told, it was maybe 25 minutes. And
Okay, yeah.
so not bad at all.
Right.
I think that's one of the things that people worry about is how long is this going to be? How much time is this going to take up?
Right.
I've spent more time trying to find a lost slipper than it takes me to go through the videos.
You mean Mr. Slippers that he never gets to wear?
That's correct.
Yeah.
The ones that I have on my feet right now.
Yes, we know about those slippers.
Yep. Mr. Christmas present, his well-loved Christmas present.
Well, that's all I have today. Like I said, next week we are getting into a module that has a stack of classes.
Oh.
Like a stack of classes about patterns. And I'm very excited.
That. You are going to love it. Well, I'm a little nervous because at the beginning she had us pull yarn. And I had to pull 2 of these to have enough yarn. Now what do you see?
More elk.
More elk. And now, to be fair, had I done this the 5 times like I was supposed to, it would be much bigger.
Yeah.
And she says, okay, clip it. Now you're good to go. Well, I'm not doing that. I'm reusing my yarn. So, but I keep thinking that our little projects are going to get bigger and bigger and bigger each week. So there's a very real chance that that's going to happen also. So,
well, one thing that we have used in this particular module when it comes to gauge it, is that pattern for that spike stitch pattern for that dishcloth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, projects. More and more projects.
There's a chance we'll learn a little something about gauge. Again, I really haven't looked ahead. I just know that it said next week's thing is single crochet.
Cool.
That's the reason I knew that. But no, I don't know if it seems like we would touch on gauge, but that that might be a little more beyond.
Yeah, maybe when you're further into crochet, maybe she's waiting for a beginner to be further into crochet to introduce gauge. I don't know. Maybe she will bring it in because I think that's something we need to really appreciate is gauge and swatches and all of that at the beginner level.
Yeah, I was just going to say, if it's not introduced as a beginner, you're not going to do it.
You're not going to do it. Like how is that important?
That lady last week, that knitting lady, where she was making gauges with the very first thing she learned how to make, and she couldn't imagine knitting something without doing a gauge first.
Right.
And I'm also wondering, thinking out loud again, if I truly were just learning this, my gauge isn't going to work out anyway. So it's going to be all over the place. So that could be part of it as well. Oh, hair, what a surprise. So, I think once again, we had a really interesting class. And
even though you've had a bad week, this didn't take much time. And it doesn't require so much brain power where if you're in the, if you're grieving, you look at that and go, oh, I can't put myself into this right now. That's an investment my emotions can't make. But and that's how light and easy each of these classes are. Plus, Robbin has a true love for crochet. So,
So, and I knew I was going to learn something, and I knew it was going to be easy to learn. And like you said, not overly taxing.
Right. It's light. It's easy,
It's just, it's a great program. I can't speak more highly of it. And I know Dana and I have both talked about, or have each talked about, when we're done with this, we are probably going to do the one that we get to give away to you guys. She and I are both going to. Now, did we decide you've already gone through that?
I haven't. I have purchased it.
Okay.
And I have skimmed it a little bit, you know. Yeah. But but I do have it in my there's a page called My ACA, and that's where all of the things that I have access to show up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we've decided that's probably what we're going to do when we're done with the classes we're on now. We're probably going to, both of us pop up, and I'll have to buy that one. And then we'll pop over to that, and we'll go through that. And then those of you who have won it, you know, will be interesting to see what you guys are doing, where you are in the process. And if you haven't started it, you can do it with us week by week.
Right. Are we ready to give one of those away?
Yeah, let's give one of those away. Oh, I know what you're going to expect me to do.
Yep.
Well, I cheated. Whoops. I just went completely back. I cheated. I never closed mine from last week, so it's still up there, and it should still work. Yes, you're right, Cheryl. You get such a thrill when you figure out the simplest things sometimes.
Right. Yes, little victories.
Well, and I think, Cheryl, I'm pretty sure you're the one with this silly thing I'm making here. And I said, I get to that corner and I kept forgetting to put the chain one, and it wasn't working out. And you said, put a stitch marker there. It will remind you there. It's like putting a string on your finger. It will remind you to do that one little thing. And it worked. 100% it worked. I can't, you guys, first of all, I want to tell you how much I appreciate you being here. Second of all, I want to tell you I learn so much from you guys. Every time I am stuck on something, every time I can't figure something out, you guys are right there with the answer, with a tip, with some little thing to make things easier. Miss Amber wasn't
a knowledge pool.
I know. If it wasn't for Miss Amber, I would never have gotten past the first 10 rows of that mystery crochet along thing. If it wasn't for Cheryl, I would have thrown this thing in the garbage a long time ago. I get stuck on things, and if I can't figure it out in a reasonable amount of time, I'm done. I'm done. It's gone. It's out of my brain. It's out of my life.
Well, go ahead.
I was just going to say, you guys usually come up with the simplest little thing. It never would have occurred to me to put a stitch marker there was going to remind me to do that one extra step. And it does. As soon as I see it, I'm like, don't forget the chain. Don't forget the chain. Every time.
Well, with this the fruit garden squares, once you start, the framework outside the flowers, I have followed Jane's instructions, and I am, every single time I get to a corner, I put a stitch marker in that corner, even if it's a chain 3 space.
Yep.
Because sometimes it's 5 single crochet or something, or it's a half double, a double, and a half double. Every time I come to a corner, as soon as I get to the next stitch, I put a stitch marker in that corner stitch, which seems like a hassle, but actually it saves me time the next time I come around to stop, eyeball, and make sure I'm putting the corner in the right stitch.
The exact corner of it.
The exact corner of it, and that stitch, it actually saves me time to do that as I do the corner, rather than wait till I come back around and try to eyeball it and figure it out. Yeah.
And not only that, it helps me keep track of where I am on the instructions, because you're in the corner. So if you're in the right spot, because there's a lot of stitches on these that are the same. And you do it in the middle, you do it in the corner, you do it on the edge, and it's like, okay, where am I? Especially if you have to set that thing down. Amber was saying the other day, she doesn't dare set it down until she's gone all the way around.
Right?
Never find the place again.
Right?
Yeah. So
it's true.
But you're exactly right, Doris. The knowledge, not only the knowledge pool, the willingness to help each other out in a pinch. Yeah.
As friends, as community.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Cheryl, I do the same thing. I always put it in that first round so I know exactly where I'm supposed to be starting at.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
not
first stitch of the round. Yeah.
Not overstitch that round. Absolutely. Absolutely.
First stitch of the row.
Okay, so we got 15 people in here, so we need a word. And oh, Debbie, what we're doing is Dana is doing, would you call it a crochet along? It's not. We're all working on some of us are working on the same project.
Yes, it was originally, it's that Jane Crowfoot's fruit garden blanket. She did a crochet along, released a free pattern in 2020, and now it's just me doing it and some of you doing it all at the same time. We're not keeping pace with each other.
Nope.
I'm calling it a make along. You can call it a crochet along because we're all crocheting together. We're all at different stages on it. Some people are like one gal, she's making a wrap rather than a blanket out of, yes,
pretty
beautiful. I can't wait to see the finished project.
Wow, that's something that you can wear and show off.
Oh, yes.
I've told people this blanket doesn't get touched. This is not going on the back of the couch. This is not going on the floor. This is not going to be wrapped up in. This is going to be display only.
Right.
But oh wow, a wrap where you could wear it out to dinner, wear it to the
I think it's Joyce who's doing that. So she's one of our supporters. Yeah.
Yeah, I want pictures of that. So anyway, Debbie, if you go to there's a very good chance in the description box below here, there's a link to Dana's channel. If not, Amber, can you drop the link to her crochet along?
Well, Jane Crowfoot is the blanket. So I would search fruit garden blanket first and go find the playlist for that. And then, you can keep an eye out for when I do a spontaneous live. We call them fruit garden parties, where we sit and crochet and, check on each other's progress. And you don't have to work on that blanket to be a part of the live. It's just an excuse to sit and crochet together.
Debbie, this is what one of the motifs looks like. This is the second motif we did.
Ooh,
and I'm doing different colors than what she's doing. This is what our first motif looked like.
Beautiful.
So pretty. So
we did 8 of that first one. We did what? 4 of the second one?
4 of the second one. Yeah. And
then we started. Yeah, I started 8 of the centers for the very complicated rectangle because we do that
in chunks.
Flower motifs for the third square.
Thank you, Amber. Yeah. So if you go to
that
Amber, it'll break it all down and explain it for you. This is one of those things that I never would have tried. I would have thought there's no possible way I can do this, but her instructions
Jane presents it.
They are so good.
Amazing.
And I'm not saying there's not some challenges. There are a few rows that this isn't something you sit and watch TV and do. Although I'm kind of getting to that point because I have finished that outside edge enough times now. But this is something that it's going to tax your brain a little bit, and there's a lot of counting and a lot of stitch markers, but it's very doable.
But every time you finish a square, you kind of lay it out and you look at it and you get all warm and fuzzy because it's so beautiful. So amazing.
Yep. And I wasn't going to do it. I had no interest in doing it. I'm like, this thing is going to be too hard. I don't want to do squares. I don't even love this thing. And then I saw it in the other colors and I fell in love with it. And
Jane, to do this, you don't have to order the book. You can download the free pattern, and the videos are not complete tutorials, but they're in addition to the written pattern. Yeah.
They get you through the rough spots.
They give some tips and tricks that are not in the written pattern that are amazing.
Correct. That just make it ever so much prettier. But yeah, you know, it's funny. I didn't even put that together until just I was looking at it. I had no interest in that, looking at the main color it was done in. And it wasn't until you flipped through that dang book and I saw it with the duck egg blue as the main color. And I'm like, oh, I love that.
Yes. It is gorgeous.
Oh, is that right?
Super gorgeous.
Cheryl isn't loving the 3D flower effect on it.
Oh, I love it. I love it. The Columbines, when you get done with the Columbine squares, of course, hers are all blocked out and they're perfectly flat. I love that each one of those long petals has the tiniest little twist to it.
Yeah.
I love that, but I know that that's going to come out as soon as it's blocked out. Yeah.
But so you know, that's funny. I didn't think of that until just a second, how that's that color thing that we were talking about, how you can see something in one color and you go, and you see it in another color and you're like, oh, I have to do that. I have to do that. Yeah. So very interesting. But this is a crochet along where there's no timeline. It's not a certain amount dropping every week. We're all just doing it at our own pace.
Right.
I started out the year doing 4 very difficult crochet along blankets at the same time. And it was killing my brain. And so now
you've weeded them out.
I've weeded them out. And I'm still going to do them, but I just can't do all 4 hard ones at the same time.
Right.
So this is my hard one that I'm working on. And then I'm doing a crochet along of my very own, which has a much simpler pattern. And it is, just the informational video dropped Thursday. So, and I've got really good response from people, lots of real good questions. But yeah, mine is totally a watch TV and visit with your friends kind of blanket.
Well, and that Lizzie blanket's another example of where the color, I was like, but like we were saying the other day, when you watch the movie now, every one of the colors she used, that she pulled out of the movie, they pop in your face now.
Yep, they pop right out. And on their own, there were several colors in there that I never would have picked and I never would have used. And together, they look amazing.
Yeah. In real life. In the photos and in the video, I'm like, oh, I hate that mustard color. But then when Robbin was showing me her progress, it's like, that is more of a gold.
Yeah,
that is, really, really and it works really well in that project with her colors.
But also, like we were saying, it doesn't matter what colors you use. You can use, that's correct, 5 colors. You can use 5 colors. You can use 1 color. You can alternate colors like stripe. You can do anything you want. It's a perfect scrap buster because you do 1 row and then you can change your color, 1 row and change your color. So any color combination you want. I chose to do the traditional original just because it was a crochet along that I was running based on the original crochet along. And so that's why I chose the colors, the color pack that I did. But
I went a little rogue on mine.
And we're really surprised. We're really surprised.
Because you never would expect that from me.
No, never.
Yeah, I picked out.
You're such a rule follower.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so this is interesting. So Amber, Miss Cheryl picked 5 colors. Amber is using 8 colors. Pamela says she's using pinks, purples, and blues. That's going to be stunning.
Ooh, pretty.
Yeah. That's going to be so pretty. Can't wait to see them. Oh, man. Yeah. So tomorrow is Monday, which means Monday Night Bingo at 4:30 Pacific. And then Tuesday morning, we have, I can see her name, Marsh Knitting 101. She's my guest at 8 a.m. Pacific. And then, of course, at Tuesday at 12 Central, which is 10 Pacific, we've got the Rad Girls Lunch Break, which is our 45-minute Rad Girls hang out and crochet and visit for a few minutes. Oh, you need to get 5 more of the colors. I see, Cheryl. I saw something, Cheryl, where it said, I saw a note where it said one of the colors has been discontinued and to use an alternate color. So Meadow, and if you already have Meadow, you're good to go. But if you don't have it, Meadow has been discontinued and she's got an alternative. It's something Meadow or Meadow something. It's got the word Meadow in it, but it's not the exact same color. So I'm
sure it'll be beautiful. I'm sure it's still beautiful.
Yeah. But and you might be able to find it in one of the other places where you buy stuff. You know, you can buy these colors other places. And I've even seen some of the colors on Amazon. That's it. Spring Meadow. That was the alternate color. Spring Meadow. So, and you know, it's funny because in the beginning, she said these colors will always be available. And it might not be that it's discontinued. It might be that you just can't get it right now. And so she gave us an alternative, which is super nice of her to do. Because I'll tell you what, I have bought patterns and tried to gather the yarn and absolutely cannot find that color.
Right.
And, you know, I don't substitute colors well. So for me, that's very, very difficult. So that was really nice of her to do that. Very, very nice
considerate. She's a very considerate designer.
Yes, she
giveaway
is.
Time.
Giveaway. Okay, so the word we're going to use is class. No, right? Oh, wait a minute. Don't do it yet.
Sure.
But that's the word we're going to use is class. CLASS. And let me get up here to the giveaway tool. And I'm going to open it. How do I do this? Oh dear.
You have to choose. You have to choose the live stream.
It's messed up.
Refresh the page.
Oh, okay. That's what I need to do is refresh.
Yeah.
Because I needed to go back to the original screen where I put all the stuff in.
Where you choose the live broadcast.
Yeah, the word and the broadcast and all that. Yeah, because it's actually still on last week's. Okay,
right.
Choose a broadcast. Oh, dear. This is, oh yeah, here we go. It's the one that's live. That helps tremendously. Okay. Now I got to go over here and I got to make it public. Present, share screen. Go here, do this, hit that. All right. Okay. Y'all, type the word class, CLASS.
You need to hit the blue button. There you go. Perfect.
Okay, so everybody, Miss Morgan, did you hear me? Class, CLASS. Type in the word class. She's lost her phone.
Yay. Where's my phone? My red house. Where's my phone?
Yeah, where's that phone? Now remember, this is one of the very few times where if you have already won this particular thing, which we ask that you not enter the drawing again, because you know, what are you going to do with 2 of them?
We only have, we only have 1 winner so far. So,
and I don't think I saw her in here today.
I don't think, I haven't heard you mention her. And we were talking in a live the other day. She was finishing a project before she started the class. So we don't have an update yet.
Is that a puppy dog in your lap?
There's a puppy dog in my lap. Yes.
Hi, Jack.
He wanted some attention.
Well, he needs some attention.
He needs some attention. You're a
And some
stinky
sunshine.
dog.
You got some sunshine there too.
I know. We have lots of sunshine, clear blue skies. You stink. You smell like a dog. Smell like you need your annual bath.
Mm. It's about time for my annual bath too.
Yeah, me too.
Get through the winter.
Yeah.
Dig out the tin tub and boil some water.
Yep, that's right.
All right. So has everybody had a chance to enter? Let me go back and look at. Okay, everybody got a chance.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Let's find
Who's
us
it going to
out.
be, Jack? Who's it going to be, Jack?
Here we go.
Spinning, spinning, spinning. Yay. Who is it? Cheryl. Yay! Yay!
That's awesome.
Oh my goodness, Cheryl. Congratulations.
Awesome, Cheryl, congratulations. I'm so happy for you.
That is wonderful. And you can do it at your own pace.
Yes.
And it's worth just going through, even if it's stuff you already know. There's always something new.
Just like, okay, ignore the date on this. Ignore the date because that's, bingo stuff. I've got the sunshine. I got your sunshine right in my eye. There's the email. Cheryl, if you would please send me your email address and I will pass it on to Salina and she will hook you up with that.
Yeah.
That is so cool. So cool.
Very cool. Way to go, Cheryl. Whoop, whoop.
Yes. I don't have my palms.
I saw my friend Carrie's name pop up in there. She's in the chat today. Hi, Carrie. We were chatting earlier, talking about vendors for the Pacific Northwest Yardy Social.
Yay! And when exactly is that?
September 7th through the 9th in Boise, Idaho, at the La Quinta Inn and Suites. La Quinta, yeah. Ooh.
Very, very nice. That's
so we're going to have
fun.
It is. We're going to have 4 vendors, we believe, and I'm going to be reaching out to a very special person here this next week and see if that's something we can see if I can get her to show up.
That would be fun.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. It might be a stretch.
I just thought of a vendor. I just thought of a vendor.
Someone in Boise?
No, but
we need people in Boise.
Well,
we'll talk.
We'll talk.
Yeah.
We'll talk.
I'm in Rock Springs.
Rock Springs. That sounds like Arkansas.
No, it's Wyoming, Snowmageddon.
Okay, I'm going to pull this out of here. I am having lots of yarn barf problems, so I'm trying to redo this. Reset this up. All righty, folks.
Thank you all for coming in and listening to us chat on.
Listening to us babble on. I hope to see everybody tomorrow night at Bingo, 4:30 Pacific. And don't forget to set your bat watches for the Rad Girls.
Rad Girls
lunch break. Starring Miss Dana, Miss Amber, Miss Darla, and Miss Robbin.
Yay.
Woo.
Yay.
Thank you guys so much for coming in today. I really, really appreciate you taking time out of your weekend and spending it with us.
Congratulations again, Cheryl.
Yes, congratulations, Cheryl. Woohoo.
Yay. Yay.
That's so exciting. Yeah, I'll look forward to, I'll be watching for your email. Oh, she already sent it. Okay. And then
she's on it.
She's on it. And then I send those over to, I'll I'll send that over to Salina tomorrow morning. She does office hours at a certain time every day. And so I will send it to her, and then you will get an email from her with a link to the class. Thank you so much for joining us, Debbie. I hope you'll pop into our bingo night. We have a wonderful time picking on Dana and playing bingo and winning prizes. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys later.
Bye, everybody.